Social bookmarks are extremely valuable for you for SEO purposes, and the whole purpose of this course is about how you can get backlinks through social bookmarking. Social bookmarking is something that many people dabble with and feel that they should use, but very few people really understand and use very well in order to really make money online. Now basically, a social bookmark is a link on the website that's shared by other internet users. It's like in your browser, you can go to bookmark and bookmark useful pages. It's pretty much the same, except you share them with other people. They're public bookmarks, so people can come along and see what sites you are finding interesting. It appeals very much to the sort of voyeuristic nature of our society. You know, we like to look in and see what other people are doing. Think about reality television and how popular that has become. It's all about watching other people and seeing what they're doing. Now, theoretically, social bookmarks are valuable because they show what users are really interested in. So the search engines know that social bookmark sites contain valuable information because they're showing sites that people are saying, yeah, I found this interesting, I want to share it. However, practically, they have been subverted by internet marketers. Like many other technologies on the internet marketers have flocked in their droves to social bookmarking sites and taken over them as a way to make money and communicate with their end users. However, the social bookmarking sites are starting to fight back a little, so it's not all one way. There's plenty of opportunity there still for you as an internet marketer. And the aim of this program is to show you how to use these sites properly and to benefit from them. Because if you do use them properly, the search engines still think that they are valuable and still feel that they are useful. So, you know, there's a lot of benefit to be had from these. It can really help give you a boost in the rankings, and it helps you get the search engine spiders to your site very, very quickly. Now, this is a fully featured course. There's going to be a lot of information as we go through it, but we're going to talk in just a moment about the effective use of social bookmarks, how to use social bookmarks for maximum impact for yourself. We're going to talk about what sites work well with social bookmarks. Not every site is a good candidate for social bookmarking. Some of them you're wasting your time bookmarking. Others are absolutely vital that you bookmark them. So we're going to talk about those. We're going to talk about automating your social bookmarking so that you don't have anything. I mean, if you've got to sit there and spend hours and hours social bookmarking, it's taking time away where you could be doing something that's more important. We're also going to discuss outsourcing it. Now, you can automate it and do it yourself, or you can outsource it and pay someone else to do it and not have to do anything at all. Now, depending upon what you want to achieve from your business and your financial state, then it depends upon which one of these you choose. But we're also going to talk about software tools. Now, software tools are, of course, very good as well. They can help, again, automate or semi-automate or at least speed up the process of social bookmarking. We're going to talk about how to get your site social bookmarked and the benefits that it will give you. And we're also going to talk briefly about a subject that very few people talk about. We're going to talk about creating your own social bookmarking site. Very important topic, I think, and something that you may find interesting, you may find beneficial for you to have sometime in the future. And of course, there's going to be a lot more in this program. Now, please remember, we're going to go through a lot of information here. You may know some of it, you may not, but what you're going to find is that the whole course is going to be interspersed with useful pieces of information. Now, you can skip through the course, fast forward through the videos and sit there and go, yeah, I know all this, but I'm warning you, if you do that, the chances are you're going to miss out on a vital gem of information that's really important for you. So, you know, go through the whole program, and if you do know something already, think of it as a refresher course to help you really understand it, because you're going to get a lot of benefits out of this in the sort of casually dropped information in each video. So there's going to be a lot of information in these videos, so you may want a pen and paper. I always find it handy to take notes when I go through something like this. So let's now get on and start talking about the effective use of social bookmarks and why they are so very valuable to you, the internet marketer. Now, social bookmarking sites are starting to wise up to the fact that us internet marketers are dropping links on there not because we want to share them with people, but because we want to get the benefit of their site, we want to get their visitors, and we want to make money from them. Now, some social bookmarking sites are happy about this, others are not so happy. So what I want to talk about in this video is effective social bookmarking, how you can effectively use the social bookmarking sites to get your sites indexed and much more. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you see, many people when they social bookmark a site, they have one account. You go and create a social bookmarking account on, I don't know, Dig or Stumble Upon or whatever it might be, or Only Why. We'll talk about all those in a minute. But what you do is you create one of these, an account, you go and bookmark your site, and then you sit back and go, well, I've socially bookmarked it. Now, that's all well and good. Yes, you have socially bookmarked it. But the trouble is many of these sites realise that the majority of marketers only get 1 or 2 bookmarks. They are well aware of the fact that they will bookmark it themselves and walk away. So they don't tend to give a lot of value, or even in some cases display anything without a certain number of bookmarks. What I've found from testing is really you want at least 5 bookmarks for it to be worthwhile. That's a minimum. If you can get more, fantastic. A single bookmark though is often enough to get the search engine spiders to your site, and that is one of the things that we're trying to achieve with this whole process. Is we want to get the search engine spiders to our site, we want them to index it, get it ranked, and to realise that there's backlinks and people are starting to find our site useful. You can also get some traffic, again depending on what you are bookmarking and where you're bookmarking. You could get anything from a few visitors to 10, 20 to several hundred, or even several thousand if you have something that's very, very interesting and people find useful. Basically, the more links you have on the social bookmarking site, the better it is for you. So you want to pay people to bookmark your site, do it yourself, encourage your visitors to do so, whatever you can do. You want to do as much as you can to get as many incoming links as possible. So one of the first steps with effective social bookmarking is to make sure you've targeted the right keyword. Now, this isn't a video on keyword research, so I'm not going to go into detail here, but you want to be targeting long-tail keywords that are targeted to your buyers, that have people who are interested in it. Yeah, if you're in the personal development market, social bookmarking with the keyword personal development isn't going to do you a lot of good. But if you're, say, selling a personal development audio book, then using that as a keyword is going to be a lot better. So make sure you have targeted the right keywords, that you will have done your keyword research, but we're not going to go into more detail about that. You also want to create a good description, but don't stuff keywords in it. I've seen descriptions and people sort of shoehorning keywords in there. When you read it, it looks dreadful. You've got to remember that social bookmarking is social. It's read by people, and people who read a weird description that looks funny are likely to not go through. The description needs to be something that grabs people's attention. Use the keywords in it, but only so long as it makes sense. So the description is going to be seen by real people, so it's got to drag them in and make them want to come through to your website. You also want to create a catchy title. Again, you want to grab attention with it, so people who are looking at a big list of social sites go, that sounds interesting, I want to know more. So you want to do that. If you can, then rotate the titles and descriptions in when you social bookmark. So don't just use one title and one description on every single site. Rotate them, create half a dozen of each and use different combinations so that it just doesn't look like they're all the same. That helps. I mean, obviously if you're doing it manually or you're paying someone, then you can do this, but if you're using something like OnlyWire, you haven't got the opportunity to do this. So your two options really, if you can pay someone to do it, or one thing is to create a number of social bookmarking accounts yourself, or pay someone to create them for you, or trade bookmarks with friends, family, relatives, internet marketing peers, whatever it might be. Find people that you can trade bookmarks with. I get my family to bookmark mine, and I have a network of internet marketing colleagues that I trust and work well with, and we bookmark each other's sites. All we do is, I'll get a Skype message of one of them saying, hey, I've created a new site, can you bookmark it? I'll go off and do it for them, and vice versa. When I want something done, they'll do that for me. You can outsource the bookmarking, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. It's going to save you a lot of time. Yes, it will cost you some money, but it's going to save you an awful lot of time. Now, when you are social bookmarking, many people just think of the big names and just go for those. But think about the smaller bookmarking sites as well as non-English sites. You can often get a lot of traffic from non-English sites and smaller sites as well. So they're always worth considering. So here's a strategy for effective social bookmarking. Firstly, create a list of keywords to target. Now this list needs to be in two formats. You want 8 to 10 keywords, say, long tail keywords that all have decent traffic, low competition. What you want to do is you want one set to be comma separated and the other set to be space separated. So this means that if my keyword is keywords to target, I would have keywords to target, comma, and then the next keyword. That's a comma separated keyword list. A space separated keyword list would be keywords to target with no spaces, or keywords dash to dash target, and then the space and the next keyword. So different social bookmarking sites want these in different formats. So if you create them up front, then you've got them prepared and you're not going to be caught short. Then create 3 to 5, maybe more different descriptions. One of my favourite techniques for this is I write out a description and then I feed it through my article spinner. And I spin it as I would an article, and I come out with lots of different descriptions that way. It's very, very effective for me, but if you haven't got a spinner, just write out 3 or 5 different descriptions. And same with titles. I often spin my titles as well, but you want at least 3 to 5 different titles. And then what you do is you bookmark each and every site with a different combination of title and description, and that way it looks like it's a different entry on every single website, and it's going to help the search engines realize the value of your website. Now obviously if you can outsource this, it's going to save you an awful lot of time, but see the later videos for this. We'll talk about that later on. We talked about trading bookmarks as well. If you're trading bookmarks with people, send them the keywords, the description and the title, and say, right, can you use this description, this title and these keywords, and they will do it for you. And of course we're going to talk about this more, but encourage your visitors to bookmark your site as well. Make it easy for them to do it. Put buttons on your site, whatever it might be. Make it very, very easy for them to be able to socially bookmark your site so that you can benefit from that. Very, very powerful technique. This is all you need to know about effective social bookmarking. You now know enough to create a strategy, which we just talked about here, to really, really benefit from social bookmarking. As we continue to go through this program, we're going to go more in depth about how to do the social bookmarking itself and how to really benefit from it. So now you know how to run an effective social bookmarking strategy. What on earth do you bookmark? Well, firstly you want to bookmark information sites and pages of information. That's very, very important. What you want to avoid doing, and this is a mistake many people make, is they just bookmark their home page. Don't just bookmark your home page. First, it doesn't look natural, and secondly, it doesn't give you the real benefit of the social bookmarking sites. Make sure you bookmark pages within your site. Now, if you have a WordPress blog, then don't just bookmark the home page. Go to individual posts and socially bookmark them, and that way you're getting maximum link juice through to your website and maximum benefit. If all the incoming links are coming to the home page, it looks a bit suspect to Google. Not massively so, but just a bit. But if you've got links coming to internal pages, then obviously that's going to help you as well, because those internal pages can themselves rank for keywords within the search engines, which gives you even more chance of getting traffic and dominating the search engines. Now, one thing that is absolutely not worth social bookmarking is sales letters. Don't even bother. They're not going to do well. No one's going to look at the bookmark, and you'll find that it'll get voted off, and you may end up with accounts being deleted. don't bookmark your sales letters. Bookmark everything else, but nothing that's like a sales letter or a squeeze page or anything like that. What you want to bookmark is something that people will be interested in sharing. Something that people are going to look at and go, wow, yeah, that is interesting. I'm glad he shared that. So make sure you bookmark something that people are going to find relatively interesting. So if you've created a Squidoo lens, or you've submitted an article to eZine Articles or HubPage or any Web 2.0 property, social bookmark it. My policy is if I create it, I social bookmark it. Don't care what it is. My eZine Articles, all of them get socially bookmarked. Every Squidoo lens, HubPage, blog, everything gets socially bookmarked, and not just once, many times. And what that does is really give those a lot of incoming links, and it helps give them a boost in the search engines, and it helps them rank well for me, which obviously makes money. All of this is going to help you with your rankings and traffic. It really, really is. If you're sensible with it, and you have a strategy where you bookmark your individual pages, it's really going to help you get traffic, not just your homepage, but inside your site as well. It's going to do you an awful lot of good. So one way to do this is to put social bookmark buttons on your website. Many of the social bookmarking sites have widgets or other things that you can put on your website to advertise them and make it easy for people to social bookmark your site. Now, which ones you use will depend on which sites you want to target. If you say you want to specifically target StumbleUpon or Dig, then you use those buttons. If you're not too fussy, you may have an OnlyWire button. OnlyWire we'll talk about in a minute. It's a service that allows you to social bookmark to many sites all at once. You may use a WordPress plugin like Sociable. If you do that, then include popular social bookmarks. Now, Sociable has 50 or 60 or possibly even more different social bookmark sites. If you try and include all of those buttons, it's going to look like a mess. So include ones that you think people are going to have and use. That's the best way of doing it. Otherwise, you have all these buttons at the bottom of a post, and it's a bit confusing. So try and avoid that if you can. If you're not using WordPress, then you can manually place buttons on your site. There are tools available, and many of the social bookmark sites will actually give you the code for that. But remember, don't overdo it. Don't have your website so filled with buttons for social bookmarking sites that people don't actually know what to do with your site. Please try and avoid that. So just have a sensible number of buttons on there for perhaps the most popular sites. But this is important, is make sure it's easy for people to bookmark. Now, there's various services and plugins that I've seen which take you from the one page to another site, a page. You've got to log in, you've got to do this and do that. Too difficult. You want to click a button, done. Make it simple. The simpler it is, the more people will do it. And if your content is good and it's something that people want to share, will find interesting, then you are going to get them bookmarking it for you, which obviously is good news. It's going to help you get those backlinks through to your website. This is onlywire.com. Now, OnlyWire is a great service for social bookmarking. Very simply, it allows you to take your content from anywhere on the internet and syndicate it to, it says that 33 top social networking sites. They're always adding new ones, so it adds your content to a number of social bookmarking sites. So instead of you going to 33 separate sites and adding your link, you can add it in one place and it'll go out to all of them. Now, from experience, it doesn't quite work that way. It doesn't go out to all 33. It goes out to a fair few, but there's some that it just doesn't seem to quite work on. But that's just the way it seems to be. However, it's very easy to use, and one of the big benefits is it can be free. Now, there's two ways for you to do this. The first is this way. You can pay for it. There's a pay version. It's $3 a month or $25 a year. You can do that, but you know what? There's a promote version. All you do is you grab yourself one of these bookmark and share buttons and put it on the website or blog. It doesn't matter if it's a blogger.com blog or whatever. Stick it on a blog somewhere, bury it on a page within one of your blogs or within your website, and then you're sorted. You can sign up for free and it's no problems at all. So that's the two options. Personally, I don't pay. I use the promote version. I have websites with hundreds of pages, and I just bury the page in there. What they want is all they want is the URL of the page where their button is, and if you're thinking of putting it there and taking it away later on, they do regularly check the presence of the button, and if it's removed they will limit your account. So as I said, you just stick it on any old site anywhere really, somewhere out the way, and you're fine. So let's look at the sign up form very quickly. The sign up form is simple, it's not difficult to do at all. Okay, this is the form. You put any username, password, email address, a website, pick an industry, again pick whatever your website's about, enter the capture code image, pick your plan, just check that one, and then obviously check that. Simple, isn't it? Then sign in. That's all you need to do. Once you've signed in, you can go to login here, and you can log into OnlyWire. So I'm going to log in, and I'll show you what it looks like on the other side. Right, once you're logged in, your options are many. You can grab the tools here. It's worth doing this. There's an OnlyWire button that you can put onto your browser. That just makes life a little bit easier. But if you click here or here, you can set up your services. And this basically is very important that you do this. So what you need to do is you need to go to each of these sites. You need to click on every single one of these links and fill in the form at the other end with your details. And you see here they are. Then once you've done that, you need to verify the account. So a lot of these require the email address to be verified. So you've got to click on the verify link, and then once you've done that, you need to come back here and put the ID and password in here. And you can see there's 3, 6, 9. There's quite a few. There's lots of different services there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 33 as they say. So you can see there's quite a few here. What I would say is you can always stumble upon, probably worth doing manually. Same with Twitter, unless you are specifically want to use a special account or you're not fussed. Some of these, like Facebook, you may have a Facebook account already that you want to use with this, or Dig or whatever. So decide how you want to do it. But these are all new accounts set up on all of them. And then once you've entered all these, click Save My Logins. Now, this is quite a lot of work to do. There's 33 sites you've got to go to. You've got to click on a button. You've got to fill in your details, blah, blah, blah. So it's not a walk in the park. It takes time. The thing to do, and this is the easiest way for you to do this, go to the forums at digitalpoint.com. So go to forums.digitalpoint.com. In the buy sell ads site section there, go into the buy sell section and post services wanted, and just post an ad saying you want someone to create these accounts for you, and someone will do it, and it costs you $10 to $15. I mean, I paid, let me think, I got someone to create 5 accounts like this for me and create all of these accounts on every single account, and it cost me $20. So worth going on there and doing it. It's going to save you a lot of time. It really is. But if you do that, you're then ready to go with OnlyWire. And then all you do when you get to a site and you find one, or you've got to your web page that you want to bookmark, you simply go to the OnlyWire button, click on it, and then fill in the forms. So we will look at a submission next, I think. Let me just find something to submit. So this is all it is you select which sites you want it to go to, then you put your title in, put the URL in, and then you space separate the tags. So you can see here's some tags from a few different bits and pieces. You can see that there's no spaces. The spaces are between key words or key phrases and not between the words. So you can leave no space or use an underscore. And down here in this box, just put some comments in there, and then obviously just pick a category, whichever one, and then bookmark, and off it goes. It'll go and bookmark it to all of these sites for you. So it's very, very easy to do. You know, it's not difficult. So as I said, it's not the, I don't get 100% success rate with any of these. I get, you know, sort of 60 to 80% success. So it's reasonable for something that's free, effectively, and very, very quick to use. It's not too bad. So it's a good starter for 10, as they say. It's a very, very good starter, and it will get your site on these, and it can start driving you traffic. So it's highly, highly effective for what it does. As I said, for the fact that it's absolutely free and it doesn't cost you a penny, it's extremely good. So I can really, really recommend that you use OnlyWire. If you don't want to use OnlyWire, then there's a couple of other options that you can have, and we'll talk about those in the next 2 or 3 videos. Okay, now this is the Amazon Mechanical Turk. If you go to turk.com or just do a search for Mechanical Turk, you will find it. It's a very, very powerful tool, but it's only available to people in the United States of America. So I apologise if you're outside of the USA, but this video isn't going to help you a great deal. Now, if you are in the USA, you're in for a real treat here. You really are. This is the side we're interested in. We're going to be a requester, not a worker. Now, the idea behind this is that you hire people to do simple tasks for you. You pay them a fee based on what you want them to do, and they go on and do it. So let me show you an example HIT. A HIT stands for Human Intelligent Tasks. Basically, it's a job. Here's one that someone's put on. They want people to social bookmark any one of their articles. And what they want is they want it categorized properly, tagged with the right keywords, a review written. Okay, pay attention to all this. This is quite interesting. They want a picture on your profile. You want the bookmark to be public, and you've got to then paste the article that you've done and the public bookmark URL there. And for all that work, you'll get paid 4 cents. I know it's ridiculous, isn't it? But the thing is people will do that. They'll pay 4 cents for it to be done. I mean, that's crazy. People will do this because, you know, you can do this in 5 or 10 minutes. You know, it's not going to take a long time to do. But you know, you can bookmark it and 4 cents. So, you know, I can get what's that? For 40 cents, I can get 10. For $4, I could get 100 bookmarks on my articles. I mean, how is that going to help me to, you know, dominate the search engines? It really, really is. And if I go back a page, you'll see even more hits like this. It's incredible. It's incredibly cheap. It really, really is. There's other ones here where they want a delicious bookmark for a cent, stumble upon for a cent, a dig for a cent, a Reddit for a cent, 2 cents, Yahoo Buzz 2 cents. So you can see, you know, bookmark whatever this site is, 1 cent. Bookmark this site for 2 cents. Absolutely incredible. It really, really is. Let's just have a look at this one. But you can see, you know, it's absolutely ridiculous. So go to, basically this one is go to this one and bookmark it anywhere, basically. Stick it on there and you get a cent for it. You know, how crazy is that? It really, really is. So, you know, I think this is a fantastic tool for you to use in order for you to actually make money and get your bookmarks up. I mean, you know, you can see you can get hundreds of bookmarks for, you know, a pittance, an absolute pittance. It really, really is crazy, the prices on here, but people will do the work. It's balmy, but you know, it's working. So what we're going to do is let's sign in and we'll talk through creating a hit, just so you know exactly how to do it. Okay, so once we've logged in, this is what we're going to see. It's a very, very simple start. You can watch Amazon's own video here, or you can come through with me and I'll show you how to do it. So first of all, we need to go here to design, and then we publish and so on. So let's start with design. Now you can see this is a template that I've already created, and here you can see there's some templates that you can use. So let's just scroll down a little. You've got different types of templates here. You can see you can do a survey, and so on and so forth. So there's many different types you can do. What we're going to do is we want people to do a simple piece of work, a simple job. So we're going to go for basic open-ended question. So we click start with this template. Okay, so we give it a name, and we give it a title. So I want social bookmark my site, please. Describe it. Description. So this would be bookmark my website on any social bookmarking site. And keywords, you'd have sort of something like easy money, social bookmarking, something like that. Simple. Now, how much time do you want to give them per assignment? I'd set that to, set that something like 3 to 4 hours. I mean, it's not going to take them long to do. So set it to 3 hours. How long do you want it on for? Set it for 3 days, and that means it's going to be fairly quick. It's not going to take a long time. I would leave this as greater than 95%. It means you get good quality workers. You can add other criteria if you want to, but that's up to you. Right, reward per assignment. How much do you want to pay? Now, the thing is if you can pay nothing. You can pay a cent a time and get away with it, and people will do it. But what I've found is if you pay slightly more, if you pay say 2 cents, you're going to get more people doing it because there's more money available to them. So people are more likely to take up your job than someone else's. So then, number of assignments per hit. How many unique workers do you want? Well, I want a total of, I don't know, say 250. Well, let's do nice easy maths. Let's do 200, and let's just set that to a cent. Okay, so I want 200 bookmarks. So that means it's going to be $20. It's going to cost me. How crazy is that for 200 bookmarks? So you set these to whatever you want. Set it. The reward per assignment is basically depends upon how long it takes them to do the job. The longer the job, the more you're going to pay them. So, and then the number of assignments, again, that's up to you. Depends on how many bookmarks you want. And this one here, change that to sort of a day. Basically, it means that your workers get paid quicker, which means they're going to be much happier about it. So if this is 7 days, it means it's going to take a week before they get paid. Whereas if it's 24 hours a day, it means they get paid, the next day, which obviously is going to encourage people to come in and do the work for you. So once you've set this, you can see, easy, isn't it? It's not difficult. Click on Save. Okay, and then we click on Design Layout here. We move on to the next one. Okay, so now this is the design stage, design layout. It's very easy. You put your job description. All you need to do is bookmark my site below on any social bookmarking site. You put your domain name in here, your domain.com/whatever page.html. Okay, and then in this box here you type, please paste the URL of your bookmark below to show the job has been completed, or something along those lines. Feel free to edit these. You can change these font size. You can make it big if you want, whatever you want to do. You can make it big and central, something like that if you want to. This bit here, it's just just so that people demonstrate that they've actually done the job. Most of the time you won't have to check it, but it's there just in case you want to check some at random to make sure that the job has in fact been done. When this is done, we click preview and finish. Then it shows us our hit, and we can see that it's all okay, and then we just click on finish. And there's one more step that we do need to do. You can see here, this is our one. We've actually got to go into it. So we've got to click on select here. We go into it, and then we have to make it live. So it puts it there. Then we need to go in. We need to check it's okay. we click on next, and then it will take us to the screen where we can actually set it up and make it go live. So there you are. You can see here. Look at that. Look how expensive that is. $3 for 200 bookmarks. How ridiculous. How absolutely crazy. So you can see here it just sort of tells you exactly what you need. You want 200 hits, a center hit, that's $2 plus $1 in fees equals $3. You know, you just do that and, you know, whoa, you're laughing. It's simple. Then publish hits and off you go. So you can see the Mechanical Turk is very, very easy to use, and it's extremely powerful for you to use. I mean, it's an incredibly cost-effective way for you to get your site socially bookmarked and so on and so forth. It's very, very powerful and very effective, and frankly incredibly cheap for what it is. So if you're within the USA and you can use this, then please use it. You will absolutely love it, and I promise you, you won't want to tell any of your friends about this site because it's so good. Now, as promised, let's talk a little bit about outsourcing. Now, one of the easiest ways to do your social bookmarking, to be honest, is to outsource it. You can use tools, yes, you can automate it, yes. But ultimately, if you really want to free up your time, you need to outsource it. You need someone who can do it for you. Now, there's a lot of different places where you can film. We'll talk about a couple of them here. Now, you can outsource through the Mechanical Turk. If you go to mechanicalturk.com, you'll find it there. It's a very, very good tool, and you can get social bookmarking done there for a few cents really per bookmark. I mean, it's incredibly cheap. However, it's not available at the moment to people outside of the USA. So whether or not that's you or not, I don't know. But that is a very good place for you to get outsourcers to get your bookmarks, and you can get your bookmarks very quickly, very easily, and at a very, very good price. The other option is to hire people direct. Now, you can go on to getafreelancer.com or freelancer.com, whatever it's called, or Odesk or Elance or any of those sites, and hire somebody there just to do social bookmarking. You can either hire them to do a single job or to do many jobs. It depends upon what you want to do. Now, the other good place to go, and I think this is one of the best places, is Digital Point, which is forums.digitalpoint.com or warriorforum.com. If you go on there, they have a services section. Warrior Forum has Warriors for Hire and a Warrior Special Offer section. If you search through those and the marketplace on the Digital Point, you will find a lot of people offering social bookmarking services. It varies in price and quality and number of sites and whether it's manual or automated. So you need to understand what you want first. Are you after it being done manually? Are you not fussed if it's done with an automated tool? How many sites do you want it done to? So bear that in mind when you're considering this and deciding which one you want to go for. The price will vary dramatically. Now, I can tell you from experience that people at the Warrior Forum tend to be a lot more diligent and a lot more reliable. If you hire somebody from there, they will do a good job and they'll do it fairly quickly. Because the Warrior Forum's a community and many people there want to build their reputation, they tend to do things well and rapidly because they, it reflects well in the community and obviously helps them build their business. Now, Digital Point is cheap. That's its real benefit. I mean, seriously, you can get. I mean, I had somebody create me. They went to onlywire.com. They created 5 onlywire.com accounts, verified them all, created email addresses for them all, and created accounts on every single social bookmarking site. And one person there would do it for $3. So you can get some ridiculously cheap prices at Digital Point, but do bear in mind that some people there are, how do we put this politely, perhaps not the most diligent of workers. Now, I've often tried to hire people there because it's a very quick and easy way of getting people. And to be honest, half the time it's a nightmare. It really is. I've had people say, yeah, I'll do the job. I've said, right, here's the job description. Get on and do it for me. And, 3 or 4 days later, it's an email. I send an email saying, well, what's happening? Oh, I haven't got around to starting yet, if I even get a reply. So, you've got to be a bit more choosy. I would say find a thread on the forums where somebody's offering these services and has some positive feedback, and post on the thread that you're going to hire them, and then hire them. And because they have a thread going on the forum, they're likely to do a very good job and be very responsive, because the last thing they want is for someone to turn up on the thread and go, nah, you know what, you've done a rubbish job. So that's basically my pointer for getting that to work. But either of those places, you can get some very cheap and very effective services, and it can range from anything from 20, 30 bookmarks upwards. So you can get some really, really good services there if you go. But what you're going to have to do when you outsource is make sure you provide them with the web page, your keywords, ideally in both comma and space separated format, the titles and descriptions. But what you need to make sure as well is, if they're doing it manually, then you want them to rotate titles and descriptions. If they're doing it with an automated tool, that may not be possible. So again, depending on what you want to achieve, you may want someone that's going to do it manually for you. And the real benefit of outsourcing is, for example, if you live in the USA or the UK or somewhere like that, it may cost you a lot of money to get somebody locally to do it. But if you get somebody from a country with a lower cost of living, then they can do it very, very cheaply by comparison. $10 to you and I may not be very much. It's a Big Mac meal, for example. But over in, somewhere in Asia, like the Philippines or Malaysia or parts of India, $10, that could be a day's wage or a week's wage for some people in local currency. So you can see that you can make good use of your money by outsourcing. What you could also do, if you want multiple bookmarks, is hire multiple people. So, you want 10 different bookmarks, hire 10 people to do it. And that way you've got 10 completely different bookmarks, different accounts, different countries, different IP addresses and everything. So, very beneficial for you to do that. And one of the real big benefits is it literally minimises the chances of you classified as spam. The chances are going to be literally zero that that's going to happen, because it's not as if I'm doing 10 social bookmarks from my computer at home on one site, it's all going to come up with as being from the same IP address. So if I sit here now and I do 10 bookmarks, the site may well turn around and go, you shouldn't be doing that many from one IP address. We're going to, delist you or sandpit you or do something nasty to your listing. So by outsourcing it to lots of people like this, it means that basically you're not going to get classified as spam at any time. And one thing you can do, and again, this is something a lot of people forget, is many internet marketers, when it comes to getting social bookmarks, go, right, I've got to do it all today. It's got to be done now. And that's not true at all. Spread it out over time. It looks very, very natural then. And it also helps you with the search engines. If Google comes along to, I don't know, delicious.com, for example, and finds 5 bookmarks for your site, it's going to go, all right, there's a site, I'll go and have a look. But if it comes today and finds a bookmark, it'll go and have a look at your site and go, oh yeah, look, there's a site there, and stick it away and do what it does with it. But then it comes back tomorrow and it finds another bookmark, it's going to go, that site's there again. Let's go and have another look at it. And if you've changed it, then your new content will get spidered. And, it comes along the day after and goes, oh, there's another bookmark. And the day after it goes, hey, look, there's another bookmark. This site is obviously popular. People are bookmarking. So it can really, really benefit you to do that. So don't think you've got to do all your social bookmarking right now, today. Spread it out over days and even weeks. And it's going to look very, very good for the search engines that you continually get in these bookmarks. And it looks very natural. Remember, with any link building or anything like that, you're trying to make sure that it looks natural and that it doesn't look like somebody, is spamming the search engines. The search engines are really protective of their listings, basically. And if they even for a second think that someone's spamming them, that site will be gone before you can even blink an eye. And once a site's been blacklisted by someone like Google, you have literally zero chance of getting it back and making it useful again. So do be aware of that. But outsourcing is a very effective way for you to really build up your bookmarks at a low cost. You can get it done very cheaply if you hire the right people or use the Mechanical Turk. And if you do that, then you're going to do very well. Like, I will get you're not going to get classified as spam, and you're going to find that your site is going to do well in the search engines, particularly if you get multiple bookmarks. So you get 50 people at the Mechanical Turk to bookmark you. Wow, that's going to do your site really well. Honestly, it will. So that's basically outsourcing in a nutshell. And if you do this, it is going to help your business. Now, a lot of people are a bit nervous about outsourcing. They go, well, I can't afford to spend the money. But think about it. If I was to do the bookmarking myself, say it took me 2 hours. What's 2 hours of my time worth? If I paid somebody to do it, I might be able to get somebody to do that 2 hours work for, say, $10. So, that means that, if I value my time at, say, $50 an hour, and I'm paying somebody $10 an hour, I'm effectively in profit. So don't think that outsourcing is wasting money. It's freeing up your time. So rather than you do menial tasks like social bookmarking, you can concentrate on creating new sites, building a business, or having a bit of fun, whatever it might be. So outsourcing, very good. Should be done as soon as you can afford to do it. Basically, once you have the money, have a bit of income coming in, start to outsource. The more you can outsource, the more you start to see your business really boosting and increasing. It'll do incredible things for you. Now, there are a number of different tools available for you. These are detailed in the accompanying book that will help you to do the social bookmarking. This is the first one, the Social Bot. It's quite a good piece of software, Social Bot. It's very powerful. And you can see here some of the features of it. It allows you to have multiple profiles on social bookmarking sites. It will spider your website for you automatically. And it generates sitemaps. And it submits to 120 sites. That's quite a lot of sites. You can define your own keywords. And it's fully threaded. Now, this is actually quite a good feature. It means it runs very quickly. So instead of doing one submission at a time, what it does is it runs multiple submissions at once. So it'll run 4 or 5 submissions all at once. So it's very fast and very powerful. So this is one piece of tool. It's pretty good, to be perfectly honest. So can't complain about this. I think it's a very good piece of software. One of the big benefits about it is this: the fact it's only $25. And the company that runs it quite often do sales 2 or 3 times a year. They'll do sales where you can get it for half of that, or sometimes even a little bit less. So it's very powerful piece of software, Social Bot. So that's one of the tools. There are lots and lots. I mean, if I go to Google and we look here, we do social bookmarking software. You can see here there's many different tools and people willing to do it for you. So there's some manual submissions there and so on. There's software called Ping Spider. There's this one here that does 160 sites, and so on. So you can see there's actually quite a few bits of software there. You can even see some some here that are quite good. So the next one I want to show you is one called Bookmarking Demon. Now, Bookmarking Demon is considered by many to be the best piece of software available. If you scroll down, you can see It's it's a standard sales letter. But Bookmarking Daemon is apparently very, very powerful. I haven't used it myself, but I have been when I've done my research, this is one that consistently comes out as being the top tool to use. It really, really does. So if we scroll down a bit further, we will see some of the information about it. So it will create 100, automatically create 100 different social bookmarking accounts. So that's very, very powerful. So nothing for you to do. And then you can create random accounts as well. So this is kind of good. So what it'll do, it will register different usernames and then randomly pick one. So this means there's even less chance of you being caught or sort of shown for spam. You can schedule as well, so you can submit and drip feed your bookmarks over a period of time, which is also very, very powerful. You can have multiple accounts, so you can see there's quite a lot of features in this piece of tool. This tool is very, very powerful. But this is one of the big benefits. Now, we talk later on about this. Scuttle and Plig are pieces of software that you can use to create your own social bookmarking site. Now, the real benefit to you, of course, is that you can go and get big lists of these. There are thousands of these sites, and I do seriously mean there are thousands. There's people selling lists of these sites, and there's several thousand of them. And you can automatically add these to this tool, so you can increase the number of sites that it bookmarks for you. So it's absolutely fantastic. It bookmarks your URLs. And you can see, you can randomize the titles, tags, and description. Remember, we talked about this, and that you needed to randomize this to make sure that you had as many unique entries as you can. Well, this is a tool that will do this for you automatically. So very, very powerful for you. So that's very, very good. This is so useful. Not every piece of software does this, but what it will do is it will automatically verify emails. So when you go and create the accounts, instead of you having to go to your email address and activate every single one, it will activate them for you. So that's a bit of a deal, really. And you can see there it does all sorts of other bits as well. It'll ping social profiles. It'll manage projects. I mean, it's see, there's some randomization settings. So a very, very powerful piece of software. It really, really is. So it supports multi-threading. So that's very, very powerful. Allows you to pause between submissions, which is also kind of useful as well. You can use proxy servers, and so you can see it's very, very powerful. The only thing that sort of upsets people with this is the fact that it's $150. However, as you can see here, you search around, you can buy it here for $107, and there's various people offering bonuses for it. Because it's such a popular piece of software, a lot of people market it as affiliates, so you can often pick it up quite well. And you can see here, obviously it doesn't tell you what the software is, but it's showing you some other ones. I mean, there's some of these that will charge you a monthly fee as well. You can see there's some there that charge you $100 a month. So, having done some research in this, I can honestly say to you that this is the best piece of software for this that I found. But the price tag will put a lot of people off. This is why many people use SocialBot. I mean, $25, anyone can afford that, and off they go. Bookmarking Daemon's a bit more expensive. Yes, it is, but it's very fully featured and is very, very regularly updated. It's updated every sort of month or two, if not more often. You can see there a list of updates. So it's well worth your while with this, to be perfectly honest. So That's Bookmarking Demon. I would say if you got $150 in the bank, then that's something to consider. And then there's another one here called Bookmark Quiz. Again, they're all pretty much the same. It just doesn't matter, you know. I mean, SocialBot will do the job, and it's enough to get you started. You know, there's this one here. This is $97, and you see here we got a standard sales letter, bit of proof, bit more proof, and you see there's lots of testimonials. So it's obviously a very powerful piece of software. So it tells you a bit more about what it does. So this is one of the things that people like. You can see here, it's very quick, it's automatic. You can use lots of different email accounts, automatic account creation, email validation, that's very important. It pings all your links for quick indexing, uses proxy servers, automatic capture entry, so that's fantastic, saves you time. And you can see there's much more there as well. So you can see that this one is also very good. Has a 60-day money back guarantee, so you can't really complain with that, to be perfectly truthful. You can see there it's $97. So any of these pieces of software will do the job for you. It doesn't matter which one you choose at the end of the day. It depends upon your budget. As I said, Bookmarking Demon really is considered by many to be the high end of the market. SocialBot is cheap, cheerful, and works. And Bookmark Wiz is somewhere in the middle. So it's entirely up to you which one you fancy, which one you want to work with. But if you're going to do social bookmarking yourself, yes, you could go to each site manually and do it, but frankly, that's going to take forever. It really is. If you haven't got anything better to do, then yeah, by all means do it, but be prepared for it to take a lot of your time. The advantage with the tool is you set it going and leave it running. I mean, it will do, SocialBot does 120 sites. If I was to manually do 120 sites, say each one took me 5 minutes, okay, which is conservative estimate, 5 minutes per site, 120 times 5, you're talking 600 minutes, which is what's that? It's 5 hours. Whereas with a piece of software, it can do it in an hour, and off it goes and does it itself. So it is worth using a tool if you're going to do social bookmarking yourself. It's going to save you a lot of time in the long run and really speed up the whole process. Remember, the more time you've got to build your business, the better. If you're sitting there spending 5 hours a day social bookmarking your sites, then that's 5 hours a day where you're not article marketing or doing other things that are building your business and making it profitable. So really, a tool is a very profitable option. And as I said, for $25, I mean, that's ridiculously cheap. For $150, when you think about it, if you say your time's worth, I don't know, $25, you've only got to do 6 hours of bookmarking or something, and then you're in profit. So it is worthwhile doing this. It really is. So have a look at the 3 tools that we talked about, have a look at some of the others, and decide which one suits you, and most importantly, suits your budget. Now, this is a tool called Social Marker. It's socialmarker.com. It's a free piece of software that you can use, and it will do social bookmarking for you. It advertises a piece of software here called Social Submitter that does 215 accounts. But you can see here the ones that it does. There's many, quite a few there for you. I can't remember exactly how many. It's 49, it says. So there's a fair few. So the thing, before you start using this, you have to go to every single one of these sites and create an account. So you are going to have to either do that yourself or pay someone to do it. But once you've done it, that's it, it's done. So it's very simple to do. You enter your website title here. So website title goes here. So then you enter your URL there. Your text goes in there, so that's a description, and your tags there, they're comma separated, and then you click submit, and what it does is it takes you to the site. Now what it's going to expect you to do, this is not strictly speaking an automated process. Then the basic process, once you've created all of these, is it's going to ask you to log into every single one of the sites. Once you've logged into the sites, it produces little buttons down here at the bottom, and you drag and drop them onto the field. So it's not by any stretch of the imagination a fully automated solution, but it is an alternative to OnlyWire, and one that I think is actually quite popular. It's a good one to get an outsourcer to do. It really is, and it makes it fairly quick for you to do. And you can see here it comes with a button for putting your website. It comes with other tools as well, so you can see it's not bad. It would take you, they claim it takes you 15 minutes. Once you've got all your accounts set up and you're logged in, it takes 15 minutes to submit your details, so that's not too bad. So there you are, they say 15 minutes. So as I said, for a free service that doesn't require anything other than you just come along to the site, it isn't actually that bad a service, to be perfectly truthful. So all in all, this is a valid alternative to OnlyWire. It's not as fast because you have to do the manual bit, but it's submits to a few more sites, so it's up to you which ones you do. But as I said, I mean, this is the sort of thing you could just pay an outsourcer, you know, $5 or $10 to go through and social marker all your sites for you. You know, it's not going to cost you a lot of money, and I think they'd be happy to do it. So, you know, consider using this instead of OnlyWire. It is, as I said, a very, very valid alternative that does just as good a job. I suppose one of the benefits of this is because you're dragging and dropping the tags, title and description, is you can always vary them slightly by hand if you want to, so that there is some randomization in there, so it looks like different people are putting in the different details for you. Now, I just want to take 2 or 3 minutes and show you 3 of the popular sites. Now, these are 3 that personally I would never put through a tool, simply because if I do so, I can't have full control over them, because I think they're very important, because potentially you could get a massive amount of traffic from them. The first is dig.com, D-I-G-G, you can see it up here, .com. Now, dig.com is a news site. It doesn't respond well to everything going on here. Sure, you can put everything you want on here, but what I would recommend is that you put on something that's newsworthy for Dig. Dig is very much more news and, you know, serious focused, if you like. It's I don't know if this is quite the right word for it. It's a grown up social bookmarking site. It's for sort of highbrow people, if you like. But the real benefit of Dig is you can get a massive amount of traffic. Now you can see here the stuff on the front page. Now every time someone digs your article, it will appear back up here, because you know, these are made popular recently. Now the reason you want to be careful about what you can put here is this little button here, the berry button. What this means is that if I read something and I think, God, that's a load of rubbish, what on earth that's doing here? I click that button, it takes the dig away. Too many of these and it goes completely off the site. And that's why you don't want to put any old rubbish on here. This is where you put your best articles, your most controversial, your most newsworthy stuff that's going to grab people's attention. And then people are just going to click the dig, because people who come in and read the site, when they read something they like it, they'll just click the dig button, and that pops it up again and gives it a benefit. Now you can see here, obviously the more digs it has, the better, the more popular it is. So what you can do is you can use the Mechanical Turk, for example, to get people to dig your site. You just get them to come along here, dig your site, and off they go. Very, very simple. So yeah, this is very easy to do. But you can see from the categories up here, it is much more serious, much more newsworthy. So you need to make sure that whatever you're doing is going to sort of squeeze into one of these categories. And you can see here, if I click on all these, the different links. So they don't have the variety of links that, say, Easy in Articles does. So as long as you can squeeze into one of these, then you're all right. You'll be fine. But you've got to think a little bit more with Dig, and make sure you get the right information on here. Now, this is the second site I wanted to show you. It's called Stumble Upon. Basically, what Stumble Upon is the idea behind it is you find a site of interest, you think, wow, that's fun, and you submit it to Stumble Upon because you stumbled upon it. And what happens is other people come here and they too can stumble upon it. So if I click self-improvement popular niche and click start stumbling, then it will come up and it will show us. This is a bit more of a social site than, say, Dig is. And the process is people stumble upon it, they read it and go, am I interested? I like it. Am I not interested? No. And they move on. And every time you click stumble, it will take you to another random site in that category. So, you can see, we can just go through this forever. So actually, Stumble Upon is a very popular site with people who use it. It really is. It's quite a high traffic site. And the thing with Stumble Upon is it responds better to offbeat stuff, things that are on the edge, things that are controversial, things that are funny, and so on and so forth. It's not as serious as Dig. Dig is very much, as I say, a very newsy site, very much, think CNN and BBC. It's very self-important, maybe. Whereas Dig is a bit more playful, a bit funnier, pokes fun at itself. So, if you, depending on what sort of your article is, you could put it on either of these. But the reason I don't say automatically submit to these is you can get your social bookmarks removed from these sites. If enough people say I don't like it, then it will be taken off the site. Now, the reason that could be a problem is, say for example, Google comes along to Dig and finds your link on there today. It goes, oh right, there's your link. It comes back tomorrow and your link's gone. It goes, something must be wrong with that site. Why is it gone? So it can actually damage you to have your links taken off these sites. It can damage your search engine rankings. So I'd be very careful about that. But what I would also recommend is you do the other big site like Facebook and MySpace. MySpace I don't particularly use, so I would let it do it automatically. But my Facebook account, I would do that manually as well. Same with Twitter. What I would do is I wouldn't perhaps automate submitting everything to Twitter. What I might do is I might say, well, I don't want. I might have, say, a main account, my main account in a certain niche for Twitter, and I'd only want things related to that niche appearing on it. So I may set up a junk Twitter account with just a number of followers set on autopilot that basically everything goes to, and then what I would do is I would submit I'd tweet about topics relating to niches that I have accounts in, so that it's all relevant. So you do have to think a little bit about social bookmarking. A lot of people just run in there blindly and bookmark everything in sight without thinking about a strategy. But as I say, with Facebook, have 2 Facebook accounts. Have your one that you'll bookmark anything on. Have your ones in various niches that you're working on, and only submit to those niches things that are relevant to those niches. Same with all the other big sites. Once you've gone beyond like Twitter, Facebook, Delicious, Stumble Upon, Dig, who cares? A lot of the little ones, it doesn't really matter so much. But the big giant main sites, you want to take care of them, and you want to make sure that you do them properly, because that's going to save you an awful lot of time. It's going to make sure you have relevant links linked together. It's going to, I think it benefits you in the search engines basically. you know, and it benefits you if you built up a Twitter follower list of followers who are interested in your niche, and your niche is, say, dog training. Suddenly you start posting stuff about, you know, how to lose weight. They're going to start, you know, dropping you as someone they follow because they're not going to understand why it's there. So that's why it's very important. If you actually use any of these sites, you may have to separate out what bookmarks you post to which account, simply to keep it congruent, so that your people that are watching what you do on that site don't get too confused. If you're using WordPress for your site, then very, very easy for you to add social bookmarking buttons. You just install a plugin. It's simple, it really, really is. All you do is you go to plugins, then add new, and you type social bookmark in here. So we just type in social bookmark, and then if we search the plugins, we'll find lots of different plugins that can do it for us. So here we can see some of the social bookmarking plugins. Very easy. You would just install it. You click install, you click install again, you activate it, and then you look at the settings somewhere in here and set it up in there. But there's a variety. Whichever one you use, it's up to you. I'd look at the ratings. Now, don't be fooled by one that has 5 stars. Always hold your mouse over it and look at how many ratings there are, because 5 stars on one rating means nothing, whereas 4 to 4.5 on, say, 16 ratings, that means a lot. So this is very, very different. I mean, what I'd do, which one you want to use actually is up to you. It depends upon how you enjoy what you want your site to look like. There's various different ones that work in various different ways. You know, what I'd recommend is test them and see what they're like, just to see how they use. What I wouldn't recommend is this one here, tell a friend. Now, this one's all well and good, but what it does is it takes people to another website away from yours, and I don't personally like that, because I don't want people to have to disappear off to another website before they can social bookmark my site. So I wouldn't use one like that. But one of these ones at the top here, I would certainly sort of say you could use this one or this one here. Any of these will do you a good job. Now, there are some paid versions of plugins that you can get. There's one called Auto Social Poster. Let me just get the page up for you about that. Okay, now here's the website. What it does is it automatically pings or bookmarks your posts to 34 social bookmarking sites. So as soon as you made a post, it will submit it to these social bookmarking sites for you without you having to do anything. Now, obviously, you need to go to the site first and create the account so that you can bookmark it, but it will bookmark every post for you quite automatically. Now, obviously, if you're using WordPress, this is a very big benefit. Now, perhaps a disadvantage of this is the pricing. Now, it will cost you $100 for 10,000 bookmarks. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't sound too bad. For you know, and the prices sort of go up from there. If I go down here and I just click on one of the order buttons, we can just have a look together. You can see here, 10,000 bookmarks, $99. 100,000, $199, and then for a million is $299. So I believe you can start here and then move up as you need to and just pay the difference. I mean, it does strike me, to be honest, as a bit of an odd pricing model. It really, really does. I think you can actually buy some extra licenses from here. It's a little bit peculiar, but it's a very effective tool. It completely automates it. So literally all you do is you worry then about putting your content into your WordPress blog. This software, off it goes and posts it for you onto the social bookmarking sites. No interaction on your part at all. So it's very, very good. It means you don't have to worry about outsourcers. You don't have to worry about buying tools and doing the work on the tools, and so on and so forth. So it's a very, very powerful piece of software that you could use if you wanted to. But you know, I would recommend that people build their websites on WordPress these days, to be perfectly truthful with you. I mean, you can still build HTML sites, but I don't think that many people do anymore. Simply because of the sheer ease of WordPress, the customization of it, and the fact that it's so SEO friendly. Now, if you are going to try and put social bookmarking buttons on a non-WordPress site, then you're going to have to visit sites individually, get buttons from them, and put them on there. So it's a little bit more difficult. Or alternatively, you're going to have to find some software that will do it for you, and that's likely to cost you some money. And this is why, perfectly honest, I just recommend WordPress as the piece of software to use, because it simplifies life so much. With a click, and the click, I've set this up so that my visitors can come to my site and bookmark me on 60 different sites if they wanted to. It's incredibly powerful and incredibly quick, and it makes it easy for your visitors. Remember, we talked about this, that you want your visitors to literally be able to click on a button to bookmark your site. You don't want to make it difficult. You don't want it complex. You don't want anything like that. You want it so simple that anyone can do it. Because the easier it is, the more people will do it for you. Now, some of these support an awful lot of bookmarking sites. I mean, some of them do 60 or 70 bookmarking sites. Don't be tempted to try and put all of them on a post, because it will just look a mess. Just put some of the major ones, some of the ones that are popular in your niche, something like that. Put a couple of neat rows or a neat row of social bookmarking buttons. You put too many on there and it ends up looking incredibly confusing, and it's just literally a mess of buttons and people don't know what to do. So make sure it's simple, make sure it looks good, and that's going to help you in the long term. But use social bookmarks, this plugin here, that will do the job fantastically. This one here also looks very good and will do the job equally well, I do believe. So you can use any one of these. And even this one. There's many of these. Try them out, install them, have a look at them, see what you think. If you're not too sure, deactivate it. Takes no time at all. Install one of the other ones and test that, and just find one that you feel happy with, that looks good on your site. So that's all you do. It's very, very simple. But once you've got the buttons on your site, of course, you're going to benefit from visitors coming along and social bookmarking your content by clicking on the buttons themselves, which of course is only a good thing for you. You may not realise that you can actually create your own social bookmarking site. It's not particularly difficult to do. There's software available called Plig or Scuttle. They're free pieces of software, and you can add on to them and program them and adjust them as you see fit. This will allow you to create your own social bookmarking site, so people can submit their social bookmarks to it, or you can just use it to bookmark your own sites. You may want to create a network of social bookmarking sites on different servers so that you can look like you have all these authority sites, and then just bookmark all your sites on them with links pointing to your websites. That can easily be done. So it could be part of a strategy to really, boost, create your own link farm, if you like, that isn't actually attached to you. Now, the software isn't too difficult to set up. Scuttle is certainly open source. Plig you can use for free, but from the looks of their website, they charge you for additional modules. So if you want to expand the functionality, they charge you for that, but the basic software is free. So they're relatively simple to use, and as I said, it depends on what you want to do with them, but they're perfectly easy. So all you do is you set it up, you start getting bookmarks. You may well get your site listed in some of the automated submitters, things like that, and then start driving traffic to it. Basically, if you get the social bookmarking site to have a decent page rank, that page rank can come through and help boost some of your own websites. So you can get a lot of benefit from it. But the benefit with Scuttle is because it's completely open source and it's released under the GNU license, it means that you can edit it and create a new program from it. So you can change it however you want, you can add features and so on to make it your own piece of unique software. And maybe you could create the next Delicious or Stumble Upon or whatever it might be. Now, if you're going to open up to other people submitting bookmarks, then expect to get a lot of spam bookmarks, particularly if it goes into any automated submitters. It's going to happen. However, if that all you want is traffic, you want people using it, that's fine. It depends on what you want to do with it. One way of monetizing your social bookmark site is you can put AdSense on it, or Contera, or Yahoo Publishing Network, or any other adverts on there really that you can put there. All of those will help you to make money with it. But one of the reasons you may want to open it up to people to use is you can build a list by requiring people to register. Some of these will use fake addresses, yes, but some will use real addresses. And if you require people to register, then you could end up with a really good list, particularly if your site is focused on a specific niche or has a high value to people. Then you can build a high value list from it. So there's a lot of benefits potentially for you. But as I said, one of the main ones is that you set up Plig or Scuttle sites across a number of different servers, boost the page rank of them, and then link through to all of your sites, and it's going to give all of your sites, as long as you don't link to just your site so that it sends up a red flag in search engines, but it's going to help to boost your own sites in the search engines and give you a little bit of edge over your competition. And of course that's going to could mean all the difference to you in your earnings. So one thing to think about if you feel like it is to try creating a social bookmarking site. There's a lot of benefits from it, and it's not too difficult to do. Social bookmarks help you with your search engine rankings. Even though there's an ongoing struggle between internet marketers, social bookmarking sites and the search engines, if you follow a reasonable strategy that is above board, then it's going to help you with your search engine rankings. And the strategies outlined within this program will help you to get yourself ranking better in the search engines. It's going to help you getting new sites indexed and spidered, which of course is a challenge we all face. None of us want to be left in the Google sandbox, so the social bookmarking help you get into the index within just a few days, which is very, very powerful indeed. But if you want maximum effect, you want at least 5 bookmarks, and the more the merrier. If you can get a lot more than 5, it's going to be a lot better for you. The more bookmarks you can get, the better it's going to be, basically, because social bookmarking sites and search engines give a lot more weight to sites that have more bookmarks, because obviously these are sites that are more popular and more of interest to people. And using the techniques we've discussed here, you can quite legally manipulate those bookmarks so that you appear to be much more popular than you really are, which is going to give you a lot of help and advice in your rankings, which is going to obviously bring you more traffic. Now remember, social bookmarking isn't going to work for sales letters. Social bookmarks are for information sites and information pages. It's for stuff that people will find interesting, articles basically. Sending people to a social bookmark, a sales letter, and you're going to get plastered for it basically. You're going to get flamed, it's going to get voted away, so it's not worth social bookmarking and sales letter. Your strategy should be to create information sites about the niche, social bookmark those, and then get those to point to your sales letter so that the link juice goes through from the satellite sites through to the main money site. But as I said, it works very well for blogs and for information sites, and it really, really does work well for those. It's very, very effective. We looked at OnlyWire, and OnlyWire is one way you can pretty much automate your social bookmarking. It's very, very good. Honestly, I'm quite impressed with it, and it's an easy tool to use. Yes, it takes a little bit of time to set up, but once it's set up, you can fire out new posts, very, very quickly to a number of social bookmarking sites. So it only takes a few moments. If you want to outsource it, then you can outsource it very cheaply through Mechanical Turk, which we discussed, or you can hire an outsourcer. There's many people you can hire who'll be happy to outsource and do this work for you. Very, very simple to do. It's really, really not difficult at all. So you could outsource it and hire somebody, and that obviously frees up your time because you're not then having to do this whole social bookmarking thing. Other people do it for you, which means you've got more time to either build the sites or do other things that you want to do. There are software tools available. We did look at a few of those. These software tools will either automate or semi-automate the whole social bookmarking process, so that can save you some time. It can make life a little bit easier for you. So if you don't want to outsource it, or you can't afford to spend, however much it is per site, then you may want to look at getting a software tool and running the software tool yourself, and that way it's a one-off payment and you're not paying money on every single site. You also want to trade bookmarks with other people. Now, this could be your family, it could be your friends, it could be a group of internet marketers that you know and get on with, and you can bookmark each other's sites. That's a very, very good way to get a number of bookmarks very easily and very cheaply. So, if you're willing to do that, then that's a good way of getting your bookmarks and getting a number of them. You can also, of course, get your visitors to bookmark your site. Get some buttons on your site, encourage them to click on them and bookmark your site. If you do that, you're going to get, hopefully, an awful lot of bookmarks, which obviously is going to be very, very good for you. So, your visitors are a good source of social bookmarking, and one that I think a lot of people overlook. They get so caught up in having to get people to click on it by, using the techniques we discussed here. They forget that people who visit your site will social bookmark sites they find interesting. So, obviously have some buttons on your site and encourage them to do so. It will do you some good. Now, if you use Dig and Stumble Upon, they can be really, really good sources of traffic. If you've got an interesting article, something that's really going to grab people's attention, then you can get thousands of visitors a day from Dig or Stumble Upon. You really, really can. It's got to be something newsworthy and interesting, but it will work, and it's very, very effective. So, use these sites. I never put Dig and Stumble Upon through OnlyWire, because I'd like to submit them manually to those sites, because I think they need a little bit more care, because they are such a good source of traffic. They really, really are. I mean, I've put articles on there, and I've had sort of 10,000 visitors from there, over 2 or 3 days. So it's very, very good, particularly if you put a Stumble Upon button or a Dig button right near the top of your post. You will get people digging it and stumbling upon it, which will help you get even more traffic. We did discuss briefly as well about how you can create your own social bookmarking site. Now, obviously, that could be something that's really, really useful for you to do, something you may want to take care of, because obviously if you've got your own social bookmarking site, you can control what links go on there. If you have a number of these spread across different servers, then of course you can point these all to your sites and give your sites a lot of link juice from them. So there's a few benefits from there. Or you could use them to build a list of people that you can then market to, people who register who want to submit their own social bookmarks to it. But social bookmarking should be a part of your traffic generation strategy. It really should. It's a very, very powerful technique for getting people through to your website, and it's a very powerful way of getting indexed and spidered by the search engines. So it really, really is something that you want to be using. It's very, very effective. You are going to be surprised, I think, about how effective social bookmarking can be when you use it. It can get search engines to your sites within, I've had the Google bot to my site within a few minutes using social bookmarks. It's very, very powerful. It really, really is. So, make sure you integrate this into your traffic generation strategy. Whether you do it yourself or you outsource it or you use software tools, it doesn't matter as long as you do it. And if you do it, you're going to benefit immensely from the power of social bookmarking. It's going to help boost your rankings, and ultimately it's going to help boost your earnings, which can only be a good thing.